So, gents, John McAfee is dead, and love him or hate him, think he was a completely crazy, weirdo-ass libertarian, which, I mean, he was, and I do. He still believed in, trying to poke these people in the eye, so I at least got to salute him for that. I think it was kind of weird that he decided it was a really good way to go out, giving himself the old stroking joke, though.
Just like Robin Williams.
Just like Robin Williams.
So,
I mean, I guess he figured he would never be able to jack it again in an American prison. Like they were just going to keep him strapped in on a straitjacket 24/7 in like whatever redacted black site hole they were going to throw him into.
what the fuck were they going to do to him when he got extradited to the U.S.?
I mean, I don't really know. Like, put him on trial for tax evasion, I think, was like the big charge he had.
And like,
And the U.S. wasn't going to extradite him to any of the other countries where he pulled shit and was wanted by the authorities.
right. Like, it seems so weird that he was so worried about this that he would kill himself.
Yeah, and he was very explicit about that. He was very much like, I'm feeling really good, and I have no desire to end my own life. I am harboring no suicidal thoughts. And, I mean, he even got himself tattooed with his, like, it's got a dollar sign, and then it's whacked, spelled, like, WACKD.
I think he's enough of a crazy person, though, that he would do that and still kill himself just to fuck with us.
Yeah, that's the other thing I've seen on this, is some people suggesting that, it might have been like, 'cause I mean, McAfee wasn't like really old, but he was still an old dude. And he might have realized that in all likelihood he was never going to see the light of freedom ever again. And that bothered him enough that he was like, if I do kill myself right now, not only will they have not taken me alive, everyone will think that they killed me, and whatever I think is going to happen when this dead man switch flips will happen, and it'll just fuck them over all around.
And so the big secret was revealed this week with his death that he was Q, right?
I really don't know what that was supposed to indicate, like the whole Instagram thing. Like his account on his Instagram account just posted a big image of the letter Q, and there was something hidden in the message. I know that much. I can go into that if you want me to.
Absolutely, please do.
So people did like inspect element, looked over the thing, and what they found was a hexadecimal code that led them to a string of letters and characters that led them to an Ethereum wallet. And this Ethereum wallet, because stuff on there's a lot of different cryptocurrencies that use the Ethereum blockchain. So this Ethereum wallet only had one, or it had one transaction in, or it had several transactions that had occurred, but a lot that had occurred within like the past day or so. And this led people to a currency that, as far as they knew, had just been created and hadn't been around very long, called Whacked, spelled just like McAfee's tattoo. Okay. And this coin led people like this through this wallet. It led them to a transaction that, when you followed it, took you to a server you could connect to online that contained 32 terabytes worth of data. Okay. That's Tera with a T. I don't know if anyone succeeded in accessing the data yet or trawling through it and finding anything valuable, but the way he set this up, that data, all 31 terabytes of it, is now on the blockchain.
Oh, really?
And you can't erase the blockchain. Like, the most they could try and do is block any and all access to the blockchain, and that's basically impossible to do.
Well, like, you'd have to do that.
You might be able to find a way, but it's going to be, you'd basically be undercutting all the cryptocurrency infrastructure that we have right now and making us start over from square one.
Yes. It's like, we can do it, but do you really want to? If it does go that far, I guess we'll know that the information on there is fucking serious.
Yeah. I mean, I just hope that there are guys who look into this, and it turns out that this is actually some real dirt or useful information, not just, John McAfee's gay interracial porn collection.
32 terabytes of John McAfee pornography. Wow.
Gross.
I bet that dude could throw some rope, though. With all those drugs that he was on.
Ugh. I really don't want to think about that.
Gross.
I really just don't want to think about John McAfee like the man at all. Like, because I mean, we've talked about McAfee before, like his weird obsession with whale fucking. The guy wasn't just crazy. He was clearly intelligent, but I think like somewhere along the line, like 20, 25 years ago, he either took a bad batch of drugs or a screw just finally came loose because he just went nuts.
Well, I've got some McAfee prep here.
Uh-huh.
So let's get into it. He was born on a military base in the United Kingdom. He was a magazine salesman. So he starts off by bullshitting his way into a job with the Missouri Pacific Railroad, where he dropped acid every day before work where he scheduled trains.
Huh.
He snorted a whole bad dose of DMT at work, freaked out, and was found behind a trash can. Worked for NASA's Institute for Space Shuttles in New York City from 1968 to 1970. Worked at Xerox, UNIVAC.
Wait, you're telling me McAfee worked for the railroad?
Yes.
How did he get a fucking railroad job? I couldn't get a railroad job.
Don't bring that up, dude. You know
Who
it's...
Who did he know that he could get a railroad job?
I'm still kicking myself, dude. So he worked at Xerox, UNIVAC, and Lockheed Martin, among others. Joined AA after his wife left him and started his life over. He then wrote McAfee Antivirus in a day after he decided he was going to stomp out the first computer viruses. Then he did a capitalism and made McAfee Antivirus the monolith that we know today, except back then it actually worked. He had crazy sex contests at his office and gave people points for fucking in different spots in the office. He got in some legal trouble with his new sport of aereo trekking when it killed his nephew. Then he fled to Belize. So give me some feedback on that.
Oh, I could talk a little bit about his exploits in Belize, but please continue.
Well, the Belize chapter. So he sold everything that he had and bought a compound in Belize. Worked with a microbiologist on using plants to cure infections and founded Curamex. Fucked a bunch of prostitutes and apparently wanted women that could bang from sunup till sundown. Prostitutes tried to kill him. He became increasingly paranoid that the glowies were coming for him. Some guy got shot outside of one of his girlfriend's houses, so he took matters into his own hands. He built a police station and ran the village of Carmelita like a dictator.
Yep, I was going to say he started, so, like, there's a couple of different compounds in Belize, like, of American expats and the like, wealthy do-nothings who just go down there because, well, they like the freedom and they like the lack of scrutiny. And so that's why McAfee went down there. And when McAfee started, he would say that he stepped in because no one else could handle it and no one else was going to do anything. What the people of the town say is more that McAfee just didn't like how things were run in the town in general. It didn't have to do with any specific event. And he basically just hired thugs with guns and was just like, okay, you guys are going to be my security detail. And then he kept hiring them. And he started sending them out on patrols and enforcing a curfew.
And long story short, that's how government works.
Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, that is how government works. But, like, I really don't want to be governed by John McAfee. That guy's insane.
So he's arming these guys that he's hiring with M16s. He puts them in uniforms. He's got former gang members as his personal bodyguard. He wants to civilize the village. He had some dude named Dave Middleton dragged out into the woods and beat to death. And here's his quote. My fragile connection with the world of polite society has, without a doubt, been severed. My attire would rank me among the world's worst-dressed Tijuana panhandlers. My hygiene is no better. Yesterday, for the first time, I urinated in public in broad daylight. So he gets raised by the government in 2012. 42 armed soldiers. The government thinks he's cooking meth. Spends a night in jail. They take his passport. And then he's on the run from the government in Belize on a ton of drugs.
He fakes a heart attack like 10 times in a row. At one point, they take him seriously and hospitalize him. He escapes the hospital, gets on the run, gets his way on a boat, and then, like, sails away.
So his former business partner accused him of raping her when she tried to leave. Never got charged. He said the girl was a party animal, didn't want to work. She went crazy, wrecked the lab she was working in. I guess this is a biologist. Then said that he raped her. So some dickhead named Greg Fall poisoned one of his dogs after threatening to shoot him. Greg hated McAfee and his harem of whores. And then Greg just happens to get shot a few days after McAfee's dogs get poisoned. So he gets questioned, and that's when he flees to Guatemala. He gets arrested in Guatemala because Vice reporters like fucked up and let them know where he's at. Faked a heart attack, gets sent back to the United States. Pays his dudes to lie about the murder investigation, incriminating him. The famous how to uninstall McAfee antivirus. Do you know about this?
No, I don't remember this bit.
I don't either. I was hoping there'd be more of it in our prep. So in August, he's arrested on charges of a DUI and a handgun. In a Facebook post, he admitted to driving under the influence of Xanax, but blamed his doctor for not specifying that driving while under the influence of the drug could be dangerous. A tweet. Enough of the whale fucking is non-consensual bullshit. This is just a fun little blast from the past. A humpback whale weighs 70,000 pounds, 50 feet long, can dive more than a quarter of a mile and crush ships with a single swipe of its tail. If a human manages to fuck one, you damn well better believe it's consensual.
And then a few months later, he kept saying that he wasn't serious about that. It was all just a big joke. We were like, yeah, sure, buddy. Sure, John.
He definitely was playing a different game than the rest of us. That's for fucking sure. A very, very crazy game. And McAfee, to me, in a lot of ways, is kind of like Terry Davis or Sky King, oddly enough. Not necessarily heroic, but inspiring in a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, no one can say that John McAfee did not live life on his own terms. I mean, I can agree with that. My problem is that the way in which McAfee decided to live and what his own terms were just repulsive to me.
I respect that he lived by his own terms, but I do not respect those terms.